Good morning, everybody, and welcome to. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Option Pit. Blog yesterday. Does the VIX think Greece is priced in? Well, one of the things that we were saying, we can't make new highs for VIX. Um, that doesn't mean it hasn't traded. And part of this blog here with Mark, saying essentially, some time spreads are things to take some advantage of, kind of the up and down of volatility as a trade. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. We could look at some of that stuff in the pit report and in the chat today. But really what's going on is a couple of big things. China still, we looked at a trade in here that we probably should have put in the strategy letter. Hopefully maybe some of you looked at it as well. Just still weakness in China, kind of spilling over into Alibaba, Yahoo. Kind of across the board, they're just sort of taking this down, and you're looking at a level, you're kind of getting to, you know, at some point, right, it was probably overcooked and it will probably overshoot, who knows to what level down here. But usually, when you have something that's overshot and now it's kind of free falling a little bit, who knows how far it will go. We looked at some positions for this yesterday, which would have worked out really well today. But anyway, the market doesn't really say, this is down 5% and we're down less than a tenth of a point. So we're just around a tenth of a point. So US stocks basically, kind of rode off the rally up. Seems like they're right in the rally off on the way back down. Okay, but again, huge realized vol in here. I would say this is 36% for a major market. That is in the higher, the highest of the high percentile for that. So it's probably too early to sell volatility in here. Anywhere close, you want to own gamma, and that's basically what you got. I would say there's no real way around that at this point, especially for this type of position. The next thing we have, right, is we have the TLT making a bit faster of a move ahead of the Fed, which again, a little bit of a surprise. Again, this is another one we looked at in the strategy letter. I was looking for it to kind of move up a little slower into the week, but the reality is now, I think, with sort of Greece on the horizon, the movement in a lot of these products are, they're starting to move out just a little bit. The realized volatility in this stuff is a little more than, it's quite bouncy. Even looking at the 10-day realized vol here for TLT, this is all movement. So again, we might have to rejigger something in our strategy letter for this today. We'll talk about it in the chat a little bit, but still got some moves in there. But the reality is treasuries were, a lot of the longer term bonds were kind of coursing around, lows for the year. And Greece is making people nervous, searching for a safe haven. And there's no way around that at this point. So the idea is, do we continue to get sort of those kind of binary type moves where, you're going to get a big shock if today at the end of the day, Greece doesn't, Greece and the EU still have some problems. We don't know where things are going. So all of a sudden there could be another rush to treasuries. Who knows where the top is, right? You could be back up here again. So that has to kind of go into the thinking now that it's pretty clear that bonds are moving strictly on the news over there. The last thing we look at here is volatility. VIX is starting to catch a bid. Okay, volatility products starting to catch a little bit of a bid. The vol futures all again up a little bit. we are basically in backwardation again as the market sort of waits, just waiting for that move, waiting for some news. And I think that's where we sit. As far as individual names, they're all somewhat subject to what's going on in the bigger picture. You still got strength in some stocks, though. Let's say like Netflix. There's a couple stocks that are still seem to be, getting past the issues. But the reality is overall still waiting for some kind of news out of Greece. All right. And that, I'm afraid, is what we have. So, but the market as a whole is not moving a ton, right? And if you take the last thing here, take a look where the volatility is starting to get bid again. You're starting to see, again, more movement in the short term. Okay, more movement out of here. So you're starting to get that backwarded vol in the term structure. Market is still looking for a move that has not occurred yet. It's the only way around that I can see that. Still looking for a move that has not occurred yet. Right, and that's where we sit. All right. So anything you trade is, kind of stuck around it's stuck around what's ever going on in the EU and Greece. Right now, it looks like they're probably arguing again here, whatever the headlines are. And we have seen bids for this stuff continue to increase throughout this. At some point, it will be fixed, but as far as date goes, now we're talking July 20th, and we could see a lot more of this action between now and then. All right. So with that, I will be on at 10:15. We'll start looking at some adjustments to some positions. And again, I think I find it easy that vol could be bid throughout the day, right? As easy as it came down yesterday, it's just as easy to pop back up today. All right. So that's what we've got. We've got volatility and the market trading on whatever the headline news is. And with that, I will talk to everybody in about 15 minutes. Bye-bye.